Imagine a chilling scene, a cold-blooded killer, unrepentant and brazen, having brutally taken the lives of two women. In the courtroom, he smirks with a chilling satisfaction, indifferent to the horror he's caused. Fast forward to today, and this same man, sentenced to death, has sparked a startling global phenomenon. A massive outpouring of support, driven predominantly by women, is now fervently campaigning for his release from the death sentence. This is the unsettling story of Wade Wilson, also known as the Deadpool Killer. A man whose shocking crimes and the intense controversy surrounding his fate have ignited a complex and polarizing debate, challenging our notions of justice and empathy. Wade Wilson's early life was marked by instability and legal troubles. Born on May 20th, 1994, he was given up for adoption shortly after birth. Raised in Tallahassee, Florida, Wilson attended Chili's High School, graduating in 2012. His teenage years seemed relatively uneventful, but his adult life quickly spiraled into criminal behavior. In 2015, Wilson faced serious allegations of sexual battery and kidnapping after a woman accused him of assaulting her in his SUV. Although he denied the charges, he was acquitted by a jury. Wilson's criminal record expanded further in 2018 when he became involved in the high-profile case of Denise Williams, who was convicted of conspiring to murder her husband. Wilson, a jailmate of one of the accused, Brian Winchester, was implicated in a plot to fabricate evidence. This association with a notorious case added to his growing reputation for criminal behavior. His legal troubles continued in early 2019 when his former girlfriend accused him of stealing her laptop and cell phone and later alleged he kidnapped and assaulted her. On October 7, 2019, Wade Wilson, then 25, met Kristine Melton, a 35-year-old waitress, and her friend, Stephanie Sailors, at Buddha Live, a bar in Fort Myers, Florida. After leaving the bar, Wilson and Melton went to Melton's home, where he murdered her in her sleep, strangling her with chilling precision. He then stole her car and used her phone to contact his girlfriend, Melissa Montanez. After an assault that Montanez managed to escape, Wilson went on to encounter Diane Ruiz, a 43-year-old bartender. Wilson lured Ruiz into Melton's car under the pretense of asking for directions. Once she was inside, Wilson brutally attacked and strangled Ruiz before pushing her out of the car and running her over multiple times. The brutality of these acts was compounded by Wilson's behavior in court. During his trial, he was seen smirking and showing a blatant disregard for the gravity of his crimes, a display that further shocked the public and added to the horror of his case.
Count 1, first-degree murder of Kristine Melton. The defendant is hereby sentenced to death. Count 2, grand theft of a motor vehicle. The defendant is sentenced to 5 years imprisonment in the Florida Department of Corrections. Count 3, battery. The defendant is hereby sentenced to 364 days in the Lee County Jail. Count 4, first-degree murder of Diane Ruiz. The defendant is hereby sentenced to death.
On the 27th of August 2024, Wilson's trial culminated in a death sentence, handed down by Circuit Judge Nicholas Thompson. The court described Wilson's actions as heinous, atrocious, and cruel, noting the calculated nature of his second murder. Despite overwhelming evidence of his guilt and a jury recommendation for the death penalty, Wilson's case has taken a perplexing turn. In an unexpected twist, a significant movement has emerged, spearheaded primarily by women advocating for Wilson's release from the death sentence. This movement includes numerous petitions and fundraising efforts, which have collectively raised hundreds of thousands of dollars in support of Wilson. The intensity and scale of this support are puzzling to many, given the nature of his crimes. The support for Wilson raises several intriguing questions. Why would people, especially women, choose to champion the cause of someone like Wade Wilson? One prominent theory is that his physical attractiveness plays a significant role. Wilson is described as having a certain charm and charisma, traits that some may find appealing despite his actions. This allure could be influencing people's perceptions, causing them to overlook or minimize the gravity of his crimes. But there may be a broader psychological and societal aspect at play. Some supporters might be swayed by a tendency to sympathize with individuals who have complex personal backgrounds or psychological struggles. Wilson's defense highlighted his troubled upbringing, including drug addiction and abandonment issues. His adoptive parents, who described him as a victim of circumstances beyond his control, have also advocated for leniency. They argue that his past trauma should be considered, suggesting that the human side of him still exists beneath his criminal actions. From a social psychology perspective, the following theories can further explain why people might be motivated to advocate for Wade Wilson's salvation. Firstly, we can attempt to partially explain this case by the concept of hybristophilia, a psychological condition where individuals, typically women, are sexually attracted to or become infatuated with those who have committed serious crimes. This condition is sometimes referred to as Bonnie and Clyde syndrome, where the danger associated with such criminals paradoxically enhances their appeal. Another psychological theory that could explain this behavior is the need to nurture or a savior complex. Some women may feel a strong urge to save or rehabilitate Wilson, believing that they can change him or bring out his good side. This drive often stems from a deep-seated need to care for or fix someone, especially someone perceived as broken or misunderstood. Lastly, the influence of media and cultural fascination with true crime plays a significant role. True crime stories have a way of humanizing perpetrators, especially when they are portrayed as complex characters with tragic backstories. People who consume this content may become emotionally invested in the narrative surrounding Wilson, blurring the lines between reality and fiction. This emotional involvement can lead to empathy and, in some cases, an idealized image of the criminal. Media portrayals that focus on Wilson's appearance, his troubled past, or his interactions with law enforcement might contribute to a skewed perception of him as a victim of circumstance, rather than a dangerous criminal, leading some people to advocate for his release or a lesser sentence. In conclusion, the case of Wade Wilson highlights a troubling mix of crime, justice, and psychological fascination. While his crimes led to a death sentence, the efforts to save him, especially by women, reveal deeper psychological dynamics. His perceived attractiveness and the allure of danger may explain this support, rooted in theories like hybristophilia and cognitive dissonance. This case emphasizes the complexities of human attraction and the challenges it poses to the justice system. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to see more of our content, please hit the subscribe button.